Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about how the enemy hates to be exposed. They hate it, and hate is a strong word, and we're going to use hate today. They hate being exposed. I don't care if you exposing them on a one-on-one situation, it's just y'all and nobody else is around besides the creator, or if you exposing them to a small group of people, or if you exposing them to the world and the universe. They do not like being exposed on any levels. And once you get to that space of understanding why you receive or have to be on the back end of these rage fits, it's because something you did, something you said exposed them. A lot of what's happening now is due from just the way we walk our lives. But in the previous transition, it was more so about us calling them out on certain things. Now, we still do call people out, but as y'all know, it's too much information out here. So a lot of the way we just walk our life naturally, it affects them in a way that it just almost makes them melt like the witches of the West. Like that Wizard of Oz and all those other old creepy children movies they used to show us about the bad people. Like, that's literally how these beings are. I had a few situations, but I think the last one that I had bumped into was enough for me to just kind of like just smile, you know, because to a certain degree, when you keep running into the same situations, you have to understand you know what team you are, and you know why you receive so much resistance. And it would be hard for me to be in a mad state, an angry state, knowing that I got more peace and joy and love within me than they will ever have. Ever. And I had a recent situation where it was through a phone conversation, but I had the little demon witch that I got to deal with right now, which I already know, that's my BM. We do not engage on a lot of levels, but because of my mini, and I don't like to call it co-parenting. The system said, hey, she gets her, and then you can have her a little bit, you know. So, but if it was up to me, and it was natural law, I am more responsible. My mini would be with me more time, you know. But it's the way it's set up. It's building my mini more solid, more stronger for when she becomes an adult, and daddy won't be there. But the demonic witch had grabbed the phone when I was supposed to get the phone call from my daughter. The court said I get 2 phone calls. I get my weekend. It was a lot of shit that's happened and that's transpired and changed in the past year, which is going to get swapped back around. But we already know how you got to fight these battles out here. And she got on the phone during my mini phone time and decided to like voice her concerns. Like, for one, I don't give a fuck about your concerns. I don't. Anybody know when you parent with a demon, it's parallel parenting. That means what your children are doing over there is out of your control. I had to learn that extremely fast and get the fuck over it. And then it's the same thing over on my side. You know, it's parallel parenting. They're going to have 2 different teachings and upbringings. That's just part of the process when you got the demons out here. So I don't have my mini as much as I was before this past year. Before we was on a week-to-week schedule, blah, 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 blah. I moved locations. It was a little bit further away from my home area. So she took me back to the course and got me swapped around just because of my living situation, right? But I'm back in my normal area. Of course, her and the judge is still fighting, and they still decline because they like, ain't no way you just go. And the judge was like, you think because you basically do everything that we said that you wasn't doing, you just going to go and correct it and come back? You think I'm just going to overturn or overshadow what I just put out in place? Not just looked at the weird judge like, bitch, do what you do. I'll peel it. I'll keep fighting. Y'all see, I'm light about it. Like, I don't mind talking about this kind of shit because it's called life. It's people out here that's going through way worse shit than what I'm going through right now. But the exposure, this level of exposure was on such a small level that it superseded, and it just brought back all the other things that I had came across that just, I didn't even shine the light on like the full brightness and radius. You know how you got lights and they got different levels, like dim, low, medium, you know, kind of bright, super bright. I didn't even put the light all the way on bright. She got on the phone, talk about hey, you need to help me with your daughter's hair, cause it's crazy coming back like this. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, help you with the hair? Like, bitch, you the mom, you the female, that's your fucking job. You teach our daughter how to do her hair, because I do it on my side. I teach my daughter how to comb, how to brush, how to do all these things with her hair, because I know she don't like the process of going through it with her mom. Cause she always crying. It's always like an hour-long process. It's traumatic for my mini, but it ain't shit that I could do right now unless I just go over to the house and bully every fucking body, say fuck the courts and the police, and just take her myself. So I just gotta suck it up right now, my damn self too. But she had the nerve to get on the phone during my mini time and bring this shit up, right? And I just kept thinking to myself, I've been in good vibes all week. I've been knocking down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like every time she tried to work a spell, the weapons weren't prospering. So then she started figuring out different things to kind of still get at me. And in my world, it's just like, I'm over here focused on this content. I'm over here trying to collect as much chicken and cheese as possible. I'm trying to get some more divine femme energy around my space. It's like I got so many other things that I'm working on. I'm gonna stop with this here. That I am not concerned what the hell this witch is doing over here. She's like, you should help me do the hair more. I'm just thinking to myself, I didn't take her hair out the braids because she used to say, oh, when you take it out the braids, it gets tangled up faster. So I left it in the braids. I only got my daughter right now from Friday to Monday, which is extremely short. Before it was Thursday. So I'm like, I'm not about to spend my little bit of time that I got being pressed over no goddamn hair. You the female, you the mom, you do that shit. I didn't say that to her per se. But what happened was, it came off like, I said, how about you be a better mom and show your daughter how to do her hair? So that way you don't have to, and she doesn't have to be in so much pain when you're doing her hair. She snatched the phone from my daughter and hung up the phone. Exposed. Because she knows she's a shitty being. My daughter knows she's a shitty mom, but that's her mom. So it's a weird process when it's your family that are the demons in your life, and that's affecting you on the highest frequency possible. That's like, it's super detrimental to your life, your health, your well-being, everything, all of the above. She was like, oh, the court said you're not supposed to be talking bad about me and calling me names. I'm like, I didn't even respond to the message. I just put a little timestamp in the message so that way I could screenshot it. You gotta take all evidence to these motherfuckers. So I'm just like, all right, time. Mom took phone for a minute. Boom, sent it as a text message, but I screenshotted it, right? She's like, oh, you can call back. Oh, I will call you back. But yet the paper said you're not supposed to be talking about me. I'm just like, bitch, nobody said anything. I said, you should be a better mom. Me telling her to be a better mom put her in such a shitty space that she started like panicking and like rage fitting. And I felt just a little bit guilty because my mini is the one who's at that house that gotta deal with this weird fucker when she's in these spaces. But I just kept thinking to myself like, damn, I didn't even give a fuck about what she was talking about. I was just responding to what she said. So me just responding naturally put her in a defensive state, because the words that I choose to use was exposing her. It wasn't to a large amount of people. It was just me FaceTime call. My daughter was on the other end, and she was like back and forth in between the phone. She wasn't even supposed to fucking be there. But it's like you opening your mouth saying shit, and you should already expect some kind of honesty and truth to come from us. That's simple. It's very simple. You should expect it. That was the most recent, but that had brought me to when I was experiencing that, going through that, because it was very slight and subtle and easy to get past. Because as soon as I said just be a better mom, it was like, oh, that she started deteriorating in the inside. It was like my spirit felt her saying, I cannot be a better mom. Like, she didn't say it out loud, but I felt it. I felt it because it was just so much resistance there. And it reminded me of this old being that I used to deal with. We had stopped dealing with each other. We started like communicating again, not seeing each other on none of those levels. It was like just only phone calls and text messages occasionally. And she happened to be in town. We linked up just to, vibe, have some 420, chop it up for a second. But it was like in a public space. It wasn't come over to my space, none of that shit like that. But they were saying like, oh, well, they afraid to be around me because they think that I may expose them. And I was just, or put the information out there. I was just thinking to myself like, damn, I don't give a fuck who puts my information out there. I don't give a fuck what you say about me. The way I walk my life, the way a lot of us choose to walk our life, we aren't walking a life full of shame and guilt. And the shit that we did that we was, that was unpleasant, that, wasn't of the best vibration, we understood we fucked up. Simple process, or we chose to take that route. But that don't mean that, oh, you know what? Because I did that one thing to that person and I felt shameful when it happened. Now, anytime it's brought up or something, now I'm just going to be in this weird, bad, negative space. No. That's not how we vibe. You know what I mean? So we done been in a lot of dark spaces. We understand things on a much deeper level than these beings. That's why it's okay when they call us out. And if you notice, like, we all know that they got the smear campaign where they got to run around and lie on you and manipulate your name and your character, and they just doing all this weird shit, right? But we don't have to do that because the way we walk and live our life, our walk is a reflection of our thoughts and the way we interact in the spiritual realm, in here. When people find themselves having to lie and to manipulate and to do these other things to try to expose you, because it's not really exposing you because you've walked this way of life. You don't walk a life full of shame and guilt, even though we all experience it. That's like saying I walk a life being happy 24/7. No, the fuck I don't. Happiness is an emotion that I experience. I like my days to be, more peaceful than happy, because the peace is a better balance for me personally, because there's no chaos. I can kind of think, travel properly. It makes everything a lot more clear and easier, But a lot of these beings is getting exposed on all levels. I just gave y'all two close by examples. That don't have anything to do with the last topics and subjects I was talking about as far as the system on a bigger level being exposed. A lot of things have become exposed. We feel as though it's more demons out here than it is, God's children, the creators, people. However you want to word it. But we have to understand that it's still more of us, which is why they haven't been able to do what they're doing. So the way they operate is they be like, oh, it's not that many of y'all. That's like what they did with the colorism. They try to make it seem like it's more white people in the world than brown people. No, it's just the white people are in charge of the camera, so they constantly put their people up front. But when you travel around the world, the first Asians was brown, the first Russians was brown. Like anywhere you go to, there was brown first. It's predominantly brown. Brown eyes dominate. Brown black hair dominate. That's just what it is. So now, since they got the system set up, they making it feel and seem as though it's not that many of us. If it wasn't that many of us, do y'all not know that this shit would have been destroyed? This shit would have been done a long time ago. But it's way too many of us out here working and pushing. And it's becoming even more now, because now you got us working on all levels. You got the ones who do got a super bag that's working and helping many people that they can. Then you got the ones on the lower levels. You got mid-tier levels who doing what they can, you know. It's a lot of footwork being put in, because a lot of these demons is getting exposed. They running around like vampires in the sun right now. These demons is running around like vampires in the sun right now. They not able, this isn't Twilight. You know what I mean? Where they could just go out in the light and just be dancing and vibing and shit. Nah, they come out in this light out here, they are done. They are done. It ain't no go back to your cave and get some more blood. Nope. Ain't gonna be no more waiting for you. You never seen too many vampires recover once they get exposed. Soon as they get exposed to that light, what happened to them vampires? Vamonos. They are out of here. It's no different with these demons. That's where they get the concept for these movies and these analogies, that vampires are demons, and they put it on a more nicer, subtle plate so that way you can consume it easier. You know what I mean? Don't fucking go around making powdered pepper and putting in my food if it's something that I don't want, to try to trick me to put it in my body still. That's what a lot of this shit is happening out here, and they getting exposed. You know what I mean? So just be mindful when you communicating with some of these people. Like when you start experiencing them rage fits and people just snapping out on you, like sometimes it's the way you present things, sometimes it's the words that's actually being used, sometimes it's just you just even being present. They just like, why the fuck are you here? Like they don't even want to see your vibration. So when they see it, they get extremely angry and they start trying to like take your hair out. I want those eyelashes, I want those lips, you know, I need those muscles, I need those pecs, you know what I'm saying? They just start ripping you apart like a doll. But just be mindful that they are getting exposed to the 10th degree. Outside of them exposing themselves, we out here with that light just going, I always think of that, it's like, you know how the radio, the DJs got like the different sounds and stuff that they play. And a lot of people, I see people in the podcast got like all the little noise sounds and shit. It always make me think of that quote unquote godly, the choir doing that little thing when I see them bringing their ass out into the light. It's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. They cannot step out in this light. They are getting exposed left and right. You know what I mean? Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.